الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر
وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدًا عبده ورسوله يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون.
Hello Muslim friends of the world. History has recorded that a number of countries which are predominantly Muslim have previously received great influence from communism. Historically, communism is one of the most influential ideologies in the world. Most of this cannot be separated from the great influence that the Soviet Union had at that time. It is noted that the Soviet Union, which still existed at that time, often spread its influence to other countries. However, this continued development and gradually faded after its collapse. For this reason, below is a complete review of a country whose majority population is Muslim, which turned out to be a communist country. Afghanistan. Afghanistan is a country at the crossroads between Central Asia and South Asia. This country borders Pakistan to the east and south, Iran to the west, Turkmenistan to the northwest, and Tajikistan to the northeast. Historically, Afghanistan was once a communist country after being led by a pro-Soviet regime. According to the Communist Crimes page, they were not touched by World War II. But unfortunately, internal conflict occurred due to tribal divisions and foreign interference. Finally, the left-wing coup of 1978 occurred and sparked a communist regime loyal to the Soviet Union. Then, a communist coup occurred there led by Mir Muhammad Taraki. Not alone, he appointed Babrek Karmal as deputy prime minister. Until finally, they proclaimed a new government and claimed to be free from Soviet grasp. Various conflicts occurred there, but now Afghanistan is known as a Muslim-majority country. This country is also controlled by the Taliban to run the government. Yemen. Yemen is a country in the West Asia region. This country turns out to be very closely influenced by communist ideology. Adapting Britannica, they were once North Yemen and South Yemen. In this case, North Yemen was formed first, so it received a lot of support from Arabs. However, South Yemen is having difficulty getting aid, both from Arabia and the Western world. This made him turn his attention to the Soviet Union. In the 1970s, South Yemen was recognized as a Marxist state and changed its name to the People's Democratic Republic of Yemen, but it did not last long until it finally became a fully Islamic state. Tajikistan. After the October 1917 revolution, native Muslims in Tajikistan attempted to achieve statehood in the city of Kukon. But unfortunately, this effort was damaged after the invasion of Soviet Russia. Due to the Red Army's siege in 1919, there were quite a lot of casualties, especially civilians. Their goal of the invasion was to create the Tajik Soviet Socialist Republic. This effort was made to create a socialist society in the small Central Asian country. However, when the Soviet Union collapsed, this opened up opportunities for communists in Tajikistan to rise to the top of power. After suppressing his political opponents, a civil war broke out that lasted 5 years and killed tens of thousands. Xinjiang. One of the powerful countries in the world is China. Panda country has 31 provinces, autonomous regions and large cities which are under the direct administration of the central government. Of the many provinces, Xinjiang is an interesting province because it has the largest Muslim population in China. It is known that Islam is a minority religion in China. Data collected by the MPIRD team from the CFR, Council of Foreign Relations, agnosticism is the most widely held belief with a percentage of 31.8% of China's population. In the next position, there are traditional Chinese religions, 30.8%, Buddhism, 16.6%, Christianity, 7.4%, and Islam with 1.8% adherents. Xinjiang itself is home to 26 million people with around 58% of its citizens adhering to Islam. The largest ethnic group inhabiting Xinjiang is the Uyghurs, plus Kazakhs, Hui, Kyrgyz, and other Muslim ethnicities. For the Uyghur ethnic group alone, the number reaches 12 million people. In the past, Chinese people used to call Xinjiang Xiyu, which means Western region. However, over time, this region became known as Xinjiang or the New Frontier. This happened after Xiyu was annexed by the Manchu dynasty in the 18th century. This province is in a relatively quiet and steep mountainous area. Most of the population works as shepherds and farmers. In the field of culture, UNESCO listed Uyghur Mukim as an intangible cultural heritage since 2006. Mukim itself is an art that contains various elements, such as dance, song, and folk music which has various rhythms. Most of the song lyrics are by classical Uyghur artists. The songs sung contain the lives of today's Uyghur people. Quoting a journal published at the Third International Conference on Art Studies in 2019 with the title Study on China's Uyghur 12 in the Past 40 Years of Reform and Opening Up by nearby Yemen, Rehimatullah Tadaji, and Osman Juma, Mukim deserves to be called a cultural treasure China, which has been around for decades. Mukim is influenced by 19 countries and regions on the borders of Asia, Africa, and Europe. Each country has its own name for Mukim, so it can be concluded that there are at least 19 Mukims in the world, who come from various different countries. If you visit Xinjiang, you must visit several tourist attractions that are quite famous and pleasing to the eye in the region. Examples are the Pearl of Tian Shan Mountain, Gobi Desert, and Seyram Lake.